Okay, this is a thing that's not an issue yet, but I think it may be, and that is if you take University of North Carolina, where, you know, I'm for merit. I'm a Heather McDonald type, and meritocracy, right? You get in, you're capable, or you're not. But the problem at Chapel Hill is 65% are women. Okay.
65?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they've tried to, I think, get it down, but they can't. And so I'm going, darn. If my daughter who went to UVA was applying there, I'd tell her to go somewhere else, except for the fact she is truly an attractive woman, and I think so she'd be in the top tier of socially, you know what I'm saying? So what happens in that environment is those dominate. And so the women that aren't in that category, let's say if you had to rate on whatever basis, they have a hard time. And they will tell you that.
Wow.
And it's not a good social situation.
You know, that's what I was,
Okay.
I alluded to when I went to college. It was a 4-to-1 ratio in my favor. I mean,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was, not only did we get better grades, but we had more dates, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
understand, I
Yeah,
get you,
yeah.
how unfair that
So
is.
It makes it hard for the men are and let's just talk socially and then I'll get to academics. The men are treated better than they should be, and the women are not treated as well as they should be, and that's a gross exaggeration to say that. On the academic side, you have women, as I'm sure you know, not that there's an over, but they're much more interested in psychology, counseling, a lot of certain types of study are gender related. There are gender differences, so you're not as balanced on the academic side as you might be, right?
Right.
So what if I said, well, North Carolina, could they say 50-50 men, women? When Title IX is doing that, you know, for athletics, for money, right? I haven't seen that issue crop up yet, but what do you think about that, given all your legal knowledge? I'm just curious.
My legal knowledge is not, I'm not an expert in this area, so, but I'll tell you, you know, my own political and ideological leanings are we have to treat each individual as an individual.
Okay.
And I would think that the recent politics about gender fluidity and the difference between gender and sex would make it, even those on the left who might otherwise support some kind of affirmative action a little bit leery, because you're having people saying, well, it's too simplistic a binary to talk about males and females, right? Or even the same person. On any particular day. So I mean, I think one thing that I like about that is that you're not going to put somebody in a really limiting box. What I don't like about it are the social pressures that Schreier documents among young adolescents that seem to be reacting to peer pressure.
Right. So to translate what you said, I think I'm putting words in your mouth, but you would say, what is the law now? Stick to the law.
Or maybe even reverse the law. I mean, Title IX has done a lot of damage to free speech and to due process, not necessarily as the law itself is written, but the regulations that have been promulgated under it. Biden's administration, as you saw just a few days ago, came out with regulations that rolled back the due process protections and the free speech protections.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
So you get the applications, you have the law, you obey the law, and you balance as well as you can for what the school's trying to achieve, right? I mean, is that kind of what you're saying? As far as the male-women
now
balance?
in terms of the law, the Supreme Court has spoken about the impermissibility of race as a criterion. But it hasn't expressly addressed sex or gender. but it might come out the same way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
In the most recent relevant case on point, which involved another
Yeah,
Virginia
yeah, yeah, yeah,
institution,
yeah,
Virginia
yeah.
Military
Yeah.
Institute, the court essentially treated sex as being as suspect, that's a
Right,
constitutional
right,
term of art,
right.
a classification as race.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there might well
Yeah.
be, if the court considered it, striking down any gender-based
Right,
affirmative
right.
action
I've thought
as
about
well.
that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's kind of like obvious. It's sitting
Yeah.
there, and who knows where that will go. Okay, well that's helpful to me. Again, that's not an issue that we got more important things to worry about at this point. But still, all right. We're down in the last few questions here.
Well, I am concerned about men. I think they're facing a lot of challenges socially and legally,
Yeah.
educationally.
Yeah. Well.
They
I
don't
have-
have many role models. I mean, and the bashing. I mean, you can get away with hate speech against men is not even considered hate speech. Even the phrase toxic masculinity. It's like being a man is considered to be somehow offensive to many people.